This is going to be fun. Do you really need confidence for your life or for your success? Those are the questions that Thomas Chamorro-Premuzic answers in his book that is called Competence, Overcoming Low Self-Esteem, Insecurity and Self-Doubt. And that is the book that I'm going to be talking about today. In his book, Thomas says that the role of confidence is overrated and we face a lot of problems because of it. First of all, confidence is not that easy to grow, it's pretty hard. Secondly, confidence is not a guarantee of success. Think of any successful person you know, Barack Obama, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, whoever you want. They achieved what they achieved, not because they just believed in themselves, but because they were actually competent in the job they were doing. Thirdly, we press ourselves with the idea that we need to grow confidence in order to achieve what we want to achieve. And that results in feeling guilty and ashamed when we don't have confidence. Or even if we do have confidence, we feel like we can do anything we want in the world. So society does take confidence for competence. Thomas states that the idea that you need to make your confidence grow comes from the fact that we live in a narcissistic and egoistic world. Narcissism leads to very high expectations that may result in disappointment, and that can cause depression. That is one of the reasons why the percentage of depressed people has grown so incredibly from 1990s. Have you ever had an urge to drink Coke? Why? Because our bodies do not need Coke in order to function. In the book, Thomas says that one of the reasons may be the advertising of good mood. Drink Coke and smile and all of your problems will fade and etc. And we just want to buy those products in order to increase our good mood. Also, during last years, mental health products have grown sales. And one of the reasons for that is that we have been told that confidence can solve all of our problems, and that is not true. The more people say that good mood is a norm, the worse you feel when you can't reach that level of happiness. And the more we believe that confidence means success, the more disappointed we get when we don't get it. That disappointment leads us to buying self-help psychology books and those good mood products. So there is a difference between being in a good mood and being good. So you don't actually need confidence, you need competence. And there is no proof behind confidence helping success. Even though a little bit of optimism can help, it doesn't really let us see the future realistically and prepare for it. For example, after an anti-tobacco companies, there were 25% less smokers in California. That's the same with climate change problems with junk food and sugar and stuff like that. After advertising all of those problems, people have started to be more eco-friendly, eat healthier, do more sports, and etc. Thomas writes that truth is painful, but it's less painful than ignoring the truth. So California University professors did a research where they compared opinions of people on themselves and opinion of other people on them, and turns out that people that had too high thoughts on themselves were described more negatively even 5 years from the first research, and people that were not being too positive about themselves had better social skills even after 5 years. And that actually shows us that not only does not high self-esteem help social competence, but it can actually hurt it. Lower self-esteem actually helps to see ourselves realistically and not lie to ourselves. And that actually helps us grow competence in a subject, and that leads to higher self-esteem. Well, you may be like, no, sadness doesn't help at all, but we do live in a hustle culture, which means that we need to squeeze every last drop of usefulness out of any situation. So, low confidence will be more likely to motivate you to self-develop and take care of yourself. Depression plays a big adaptive role in trials as well. It lowers your interest for things in order to protect you from repeating those situations that put you into depression in the first place. The author says that depression is a very important protective mechanism, and the ability to cope with negative emotions is an important quality for getting experience and self-developing. Low confidence actually shows your incompetency, and that can motivate you to get better. Thomas shows us the grid where different versions of competence and confidence are shown. In the low right corner, author shows us incompetent confidence. This state is the result of self-deception, and he says that you will not be able to develop knowledge unless you acknowledge what you don't know. So in this state, author advises to ask others about yourself, get feedback in order to judge your competence realistically. The next one is realistic self-doubt. In this state, person has deep knowledge about themselves, and that knowledge can transform into motivation to become better. William James once wrote that the self-esteem could be understood as the ratio of satisfied and unsatisfied goals, such that it could be increased by accomplishing more. Next one is perfectionistic self-criticism. This happens when the level of successes is high, but the person is still unsatisfied with themselves. Those people often compare themselves to more successful people, and author suggests to hide your insecurities because people might see it as low competence. Next one is realistic confidence. This state is kind of perfect, but it can easily transform into complacency. Low confidence is an adaptation tool that protects you from life problems. For example, if you were asked to speak in front of the class on a subject that you don't really know that well, odds are that fear and a low confidence will make you prepare better and succeed eventually. Achievement is a total of preparation and action. Actions do depend on confidence because it will distract you from doubt and it will increase your competence in the eyes of other people, but that's only 10% of success. Other 90% of your success depends on your preparation, and less confident you are, the more energy you're going to put into it. For example, clinical research has shown that if a smoker believes that he will stop smoking, that won't really lead to anything. But if he has already started decreasing the amount of cigarettes smoked in a day, that type of confidence will be effective and real. Author says that in order to be better, you have to focus on others rather than on yourself. But why? There are a lot of successful people that do not really believe in themselves because they are so preoccupied with their own worries. But if they would ask people around them, they would get a realistic and objective picture of their own situation that they see unrealistically because of the worries and comparison. Despite the popular opinion, author actually says to not be yourself. We know a lot of sad stories concerning drugs, attacks, aggression, where people were just being themselves. So fake it till you make it, I guess. Confidence has inner and outer face. Inner one is how talented and successful you see yourself, and outer is how talented others see you. People are interested in your confidence because it shows how reliable you are. However, people do not value confidence if it's not supported by competence. Try to think of that one person from your own life that think of themselves as talented or successful, but in reality are not. And that actually shows that we do see ourselves fallaciously. And a lot of surveys and researches prove that. Also, Dr. Collins did a research and she proved that companies with humble leaders are much more successful than ones with egocentric leaders. Author states that even though society tells us to not care about others and just be ourselves, that is not really correct. We are told that if we do not care about others, we will become successful, free, and famous. However, being famous and being successful is the opposite of being free from society. Successful people are the ones that give people and their opinions a lot of attention. Thomas says that it's better to know yourself than to believe in yourself. And then author kind of divides divides the book into different sections where he writes how confidence works within different areas of life. Thomas debunks a few myths. First of all, confidence doesn't make you successful, it just makes people seem successful. Secondly, success does not depend on talent. We divide talent into innate talent, which is a very small percentage of successful people because it is very rare, or predispositions to do something. But they also do not work if you do not use them. So if you call someone talented or successful, odds are that they have already put a lot of energy and a lot of time into developing that skill. And thirdly, you do not have to be arrogant to be successful. Quite opposite, the more friendly and kind you are, the better you're going to do and the better your company is going to do. So how to gain success? Author gives us 3 advices. First, show your competence. Remember that preparation leads to good performance and that leads to achievements. Secondly, work hard because people usually choose hard workers over people with talent, competence, knowledge, and etc. And thirdly, be likable. So you may fake your external confidence because that will make people believe that you are successful and competent. However, low inner confidence will motivate you to get better and that will lead to success. People tend to like when you are modest and humble. So there are 3 ways to use low confidence for your social relations. First is pessimistic realism. So people with low confidence see their social skills more realistically, and that is a big advantage because people with higher confidence tend to overestimate their abilities. Second is self-control, because author compares high confidence with being drunk. You kind of let go of yourself and concentrate on being you, while low confidence is like being sober. It controls you and doesn't let you lose your mind. Third is motivation. Low confidence motivates you to prepare for social situations, exams, and etc. It is one of the ways of becoming more competent. Thomas thinks that social competence comes from 3 things: reading people, presenting yourself well, and influencing others. So how do you read people? You read people by knowing people better. And we all know that people want success, love, and knowledge. How to actually influence others. There are a lot of ways that Thomas writes in his book, and I will write some of them on the screen. So one is, do not criticize people, do not complain, give people honest compliments, remember their names, do not argue, listen to people while they talk, respect their own opinion, give positive feedback, and etc. So how does confidence influence your love life? Thomas gives 4 steps on how to succeed in dating life. First is, do not aim too high, aim lower. One of the ways is maybe give a chance to someone that you were not really interested in earlier. Second is, do not aim too low, aim higher. Third one is, do not be too rational. Go with the flow and embrace the surprises of life. So try to not focus on perfection because you won't find it, and work on improving what you already have. People also tend to overestimate their health level. There is no research that proves that positive mindset can cure any illness, even though optimists do tend to rehabilitate better and they get ill less often. But a lot of addictive habits wouldn't be this popular if people wouldn't believe that they are resistant to most illnesses. High confidence makes people believe that nothing will happen to them, and it also increases risk-taking. For example, any smoker thinks that he will not be the one with lungs cancer. Also, high confidence makes you hide symptoms that you already have, thinking that nothing bad will happen, it's not a big deal, and etc. And also, high confidence creates false health hopes. So you don't need to be too confident about your health. You have to grow knowledge in order to look at it realistically. So author says that there's no evidence behind confidence helping success, and even if there was, it is too hard to change our confidence level intentionally. A lot of psychological studies show that deliberate attempts to suppress negative self-views backfire. So, for example, trying to avoid a thought makes you think about it even more often. So, embrace your low confidence. Know that it allows you to see your imperfections and work on them. Remember that success is the best medicine for your insecurities. And with that, we could create a more competent world where everyone is competent and doesn't just seem competent. Everyone would actually show up being prepared, because we would all be scared. Thomas says, low confidence is the result of failure, but the source of success.